But if we're going to miss this season, I'm not thinking so closely by basically we need to keep our team surviving, and I think we will even without racing. But I see more problems for other teams.
So, hello, Wilco. Good morning. Thanks a lot for joining to my GPspirit face-to-face. I have plenty of questions and topics I brought to you, so I hope you have the time. First of all, I start the same way as with everyone. That how are you? Are you safe? And how is the situation in Holland?
Yes, good morning to you too. And yes, I would like to start in the morning because then we're all kind of fresh, and you know, to say and to from Holland that we are all safe at the moment, and you know, the country is also basically collapsed, but you know, all restaurants are closed, and like everybody, we are not completely in lockdown, so we are allowed to go outside. But not together. We need to keep distance, and big groups, even small groups, they cannot be together. So, but so far we are safe, and yeah, my pets are very happy because my dog loves to see me around the house since a long time.
Only the pets, or I guess family as well?
Yes, of course, my wife and the kids, they are happy. Actually, it's my birthday of my wife today, so
oh, happy birthday to her then.
Yeah, thank you.
I think after how many years, or maybe this is the first time ever in your life, no, spending this much time at home?
Well, no, but if I have to think,
since you started to work in motorsports, clearly.
Yes, for sure. Maybe in the beginning we also started the first GP basically in Jerez, like the 80s or 85, 86. You know, this period we were also home long because here in Holland you cannot start riding until it's April or something like this, March, April. So, but since I've been involved in, you know, MotoGP, for sure, this is the longest period since then.
We could already see a lot of materials about the rider. But what about you? Because you are also, first of all, an ex-rider, an ex-race winner in 250, but still you are a really active person, no? Running a lot also during the GP weekends.
Yes.
So, can you train?
Yes, I can train. So I keep running. So that's the good part from here. We are allowed to go outside. And on the Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, I run. And when I go out with the dog every morning, afternoon, and evening, I also do some exercise, some push-ups and some planking and some stretching. So every day I keep myself actually quite busy. I'm not bored yet, so this is good. But yeah, with a family and having kids and our own house, spending 2 months at home, you know, like December and January is not enough. You know, there is always something laying in the corner what need to be done actually already 2 years ago, you know.
You are the team manager for the MotoGP team, no, in the Petronas family, let's say. Are you in contact with Fabio and with Morbidelli? Can you help them somehow from the far?
Well, I phone them basically each week if they pick up, because they're also working. And I spoke with Franco on Friday. Fabio didn't pick up, so I need to phone him back basically. I spoke with Eric. They are both fine, and they're training at home. So I think Fabio has a little bit more freedom than Franco, because in his area it's a real lockdown. So they order some training material, facilities in their home. So they try to keep on working, because yeah, if you don't do 3 weeks nothing, then basically your whole training is gone. So you really need to keep up. And that's what they're doing at the moment. Try to stay fit and also try to stay concentrated, you know.
Yeah, clearly it's not a good scenario, let's say, to stop for 3 weeks, but also it's very difficult to maintain the high level of,
Yes.
of physical and also mental condition, let's say, for a long period, and a long period without races, and a long period without knowing an exact date that, okay,
Yeah.
this is the date or this is the weekend I really must be in
Yes.
the best shape.
Yeah, that's true. And the calendar changes every time. So, you know, Jerez is gone now. Le Mans, I don't see it happening. Nobody sees it happening, but I did not see the official cancellation or postpone. Yeah, for them that's also difficult. But yeah, if you think now, end of May, for example, they already, you know, set that in their mind as well to okay, we can train now, but mentally, like 2-3 weeks in advance, you get also a little bit tense for the race weekend, you know. And if you know that they don't have to race coming Sunday, for example, as a surprise, that will be, I think, the worst case scenario.
As a team manager, what are your exact duties, maybe in general during normal circumstances, let's say, and what can you do or what you have to do during this period? Are you in contact with Dora?
Yeah, there's constantly communication about the future. Yeah, we spoke at a certain timing to have 2 races, for example, in Malaysia, which finally didn't happen because also there, but that was an idea to do that. And of course, to share ideas to at least have 20 races, maybe with less events. But I think that's one of the things what we need to think about. And we are not talking with Dorna about it, but of course it is in my mind from how can we survive this season with 18, 19 or 20 races. Will be very difficult if we don't change the system a little bit, because I think if we can start in June or July and still do 20 rounds, that will be very hard for the riders and nearly impossible. If you get injured, you miss 5-6 rounds, and for me this is unacceptable.
So
But on the other side, yeah, we're also thinking on our future as a team, of course, because if we don't race this year, for example, or all these kind of things, we are planning and talking about with Johan and Raslan. So these are things what we need to keep in mind. We have to focus on our own, and basically that means we want to survive this crisis as a team. And the way we want to do that is you know, sometimes hard to describe, and it can change constantly. So we are in contact to discuss these kind of matters, and this is basically our main goal at the moment.
Are you in contact, for example, with the MotoGP mechanics, engineers, Michelin?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I try to keep all the guys together. I contact them every week, what is going on, if everybody's fine. And so, yeah, try to keep the spirit up. We have a WhatsApp group. So this is mainly, you know, this period of our life, basically. I call all the young riders the PlayStation generation, you know, but you can also call them the WhatsApp generation. So it's a little bit what you wanted to say, but yeah, we keep in contact as good as possible with the group, but everybody is taking care about their own families, and I think that's the priority number one at the moment. And this is we laugh sometimes about jokes about the virus, but it's not really something to laugh about. But also we need to keep our humor there, you know. So it's sometimes nice what they are making, and you know, it's sad for the people who are dying and get the disease. But yeah, life goes on, and this is also part of our human being. I think that the jokes made are sometimes very hard, but you know, we live in a strange world.
How much is it important for a team to have these WhatsApp groups and keep in touch and get the, let's say, constant or continuous communication and know about each other? Clearly, we are living in a lucky period, let's say, that we have all these tools and we are
Yes.
able to do, but how much is important to get them together or keep them together?
Yeah, I think it's yeah, very important. You know, when we started this team, we had a goal. We win together and we lose together, and you need to protect those boys. Yeah, as good as possible. You know, we hired them, and you know they put their signature under their contracts, and you know if it's going well, it's very nice. We celebrate, but you know racing as well. Many times it doesn't go so well. You know, so then you need to protect the boys and the riders who maybe crashed or made mistakes, because basically and bottom line is we signed those boys and we trusted them. And if they don't do well, we need to try to guide them in the best way possible to get better. But of course, they are risking, you know, everything on the bikes, and the crew around them. They also need to be concentrated and be trusted. You know, so everybody has their own responsibility, and they need to have the feeling that we are behind them. And I think this is, yeah, for a race team, maybe. Yeah, quite exceptional, but I think this is the only way to create a good family feeling and a very good environment feeling. You know that they know they are risking things, because being a mechanic and working on the brakes of a MotoGP bike, you know that there is a lot of responsibility there, but you also need to get it from the management that they know you are able to do that kind of job. And so this is what the thing, how I work and what I want to give to them, you know. And I think, yeah, this is of course, yeah, there are always moments where you have to sit down and discuss things, because for sure in everything things go wrong, but then it's time to sit down together and solve them. And I think that's the way to work.
A side question: did you have the chance maybe to watch the Netflix series about the Formula One? They
Yes.
did series about the 2018 and 19 season.
Yes, yeah. I saw three parts, and yeah, I had to laugh about about it sometimes, how they get completely mental when mistakes happened, you know, with the Haas situation.
I'm asking actually.
Yes, so yeah, that's probably not, you know, it's very emotional. And he's a very good lad, but you know, yeah, sometimes you don't want to have those cameras around. I can imagine that, but yeah, it's funny to see anyway.
But is it the same also in MotoGP, or maybe because more money involved, maybe more pressure involved? I'm not sure about it. In Formula One, the tense is higher than in MotoGP.
No, I think. Yeah, the amount of people is less, so you see there, yeah, it's for sure bigger, much more money involved, but in a smaller, yeah, range, I would say, we have the same, you know, things going on. Basically, also the riders can collapse together, and of course you try to guide them in the best way possible. But you know, with cars, it's a little bit easier to touch each other than with bikes, you know. Because yeah, those outsticking wheels I can imagine is a pain in the ass, you know, because you hit somebody before you know it, and you already fly up in the air. With bikes, you really need to make a big error, and you say, okay, I go for an outbraking attack, and you cannot make the corner. And of course, but this is a different scenario, I think. And but the bottom line is the situation is the same.
So what would be the best scenario in your mind? So personally, I ask Wilco Zeelenberg. Let's say we can start the season in August.
Yeah.
How many races? Be happy to see double.
It's difficult in my mind. Okay, is one thing, but you know, I know Dorna has all the television rights and contracts in their hand, and I cannot judge. So I need to be realistic. That is difficult for me to give an answer to that. But yeah, looking to, for example, Superbike, which doing 2 races per event. Yeah, if it's really necessary to do 15 or 16 events, or 8 events and 2 races a weekend, you only have to do 8 events and you have 16 races. So in this case scenario, of course, you can do double races. But which country to choose, out from, of course, is another question mark. So I don't know which one is more important. Is it, do we need to go to many countries or do we need to do many races? And I think anyway, as I mentioned a couple of times in our meetings, that 20 races and going to 22 races is anyway a nightmare for me. So for me, that's already too much. So I already said, if we are not able to find a world champion with 15 races, something is wrong. You know what I mean? So I think with 15 races, you easily can find a world champion. But of course, we all live from this product, which is called MotoGP. And I think Dorna is doing a great job in it, and Irta as well. So we can be very proud about that, because the championship is very tight and nice. So yeah, we put our hands in their decisions, and let's see. But I think for sure, if we can race from July to maybe December or whatsoever, depends where we go to, we can still do a lot of races. And I see us going out again. But at the moment, I cannot judge when can we fly, and these kind of things are important.
So let's talk about a little bit about Fabio. After a long break, let's say we will have a championship, it will be really tough. I mean, a lot of races in a short period. For not a rookie, for his second year in MotoGP, what do you think Fabio will be or would be able to do with all this pressure, with the young age, with not as much experience as the others, etc., etc.?
Well, it's a good question, and it's difficult to judge. You know, he was ready for Qatar, and he was really, really disappointed not to race there, because he was hot last year. He wanted to race there. He basically made a huge error on the starting grid. He stole his bike last year, and he was fast in the race. So I think his mission was to win there in Qatar, you know, because he was so, yeah, he's 20-year-old. And when you have a winter from 2 months for when you're 20, that's like 2 years, you know. For us, it's a winter. 2 months is nothing. It's so fast by. But he was so keen to start racing again. So his enthusiasm, we probably need to calm down a little bit. So this is, of course, it could be, yeah, that he's maybe over enthusiastic. But yeah, let's see. And this is also our yeah, way to manage that in the right way and try to keep him calm, you know. So this is our area where we have to work on, and where we need to inform him, because he's still young, and so we need to tell him that.
Another theoretical question: worst scenario, we don't have any championship this year. Would it be a huge missing point that you lost the second year to work with Fabio?
No, but yeah, Franco and Fabio, because you know, basically we talked, of course, with Fabio, and yes, it will be a missing point, but basically also for both. But if we're going to miss this season, I'm not thinking so closely by. Basically, we need to keep our team surviving, and I think we will, even without racing. But I see more problems for other teams. And because we have you know, we have Petronas, we have a big sponsor, and we are quite exceptional in this championship. But we all need all the riders and all the teams. We cannot start in 2021 with only the factory teams and Petronas, for example. This would be a worst case scenario, that big teams are falling over because of this season. And yeah, let's wait and see. So I'm not looking into Fabio or Franco for this season. You know, it's the show is much bigger than that. But of course, we are disappointed. We will be disappointed, but more than for the whole paddock and for the whole show. I also can imagine, from Dorna point of view, it would not be the best solution to lose Wale as well.